Hello, everyone, and welcome aboard the Walt Disney World Transportation System.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Double Dose of Disney podcast. As always, my name is Brittany, and I am joined here by my Coronado Springs loving husband, Tony. This week on the podcast, we have a battle over the moderate resorts at Walt Disney World, giving our experiences with the ones we've stayed at, letting you know the details of the ones that we have left to try, and helping you decide which one is best for your next Disney vacation and why it's Coronado Springs, which I'm kidding, but not really.
So this is a battle.
Yes.
I don't think it's a battle. This is more like, let's tell you all about it, what we know, and you let us know which ones you stayed at, what's your favorites, and we'll get into them a little bit, and some similarities, differences, and what we like about them.
True.
That we know about them.
Yeah, Coronado. So at Walt Disney World, there's 3 different resort categories. We've done a previous episode on the value resorts, comparing those, talking about our experiences of staying at them, and different like perks to staying in each of the resorts. So we wanted to do the same thing with the moderate resorts. At Walt Disney World, there are 4 different moderate resorts. There's Caribbean Beach Resort, Port Orleans Resort French Quarter, and Port Orleans Riverside, as well as Coronado Springs Resort. The moderate resorts are going to be a step above the value, but they're kind of that mid-range price range. So you're going to have more amenities than you would have at the value resorts. You're not going to have as many, like it may not be as close to the parks or something like that, but you're also paying less for it.
Yeah, there's some big differences in these we stayed at. We're going to go through them in our stages of life we're at currently, and we're about to have, if you follow us any time, we're about to have twins this week as of this
tomorrow
podcast recording. So some of these may change in what we refer, what we will stay in the future based on if you have, because what we think will be have more accommodating, have more fun, maybe? I don't know. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, and like each of these resorts, there's not a bad resort ever on Disney property, right? Like there's 25 different resorts you can stay at. You're going to have a great experience each time. But some resorts may be tailored to more like specific party types better than another. And it may be a better option for you to stay there. So just the things that like are included at like moderate resorts you may not get at value resorts is going to be things like a table service dining location is included at all of the moderate resorts except for Port Orleans French Quarter, and they're going to have more resort activities. So they have like Sangria University at Coronado Springs, or they have fishing over at the Port Orleans resorts, or I think at Coronado Springs as well as at Caribbean Beach, so really all of them. And then they're also going to have a more upscale pool area that includes a water slide, which is always a big perk with kids.
So before you tell them about everyone, you want to just get into them?
Yep, let's go. I'm going to start at Caribbean Beach.
First one we're at, Caribbean Beach, which we have stayed at before.
Yes.
Location, it's right around, it's called the Epcot area.
Uh-huh.
And this is a big one because you got the Skyliner.
Yeah.
So it always bumps up for us and most people because you have that. You don't have to,
right.
You're relying on the bus.
Right.
So it's kind of right in the middle price range.
Yeah.
$238 a night, roughly.
Yeah. And then the rooms can sleep up to 4. The rooms can sleep between 4 to 5 at the most. Of course, you can sleep less than that. Some of the rooms at this resort were recently refurbished. We stayed at Caribbean Beach back in 2022, I believe. And yeah, I don't know, a few trips ago. And at the time, we stayed in a pirate room, so we woke up in a pirate ship in the morning. It was our anniversary, so that was pretty funny.
The location was perfect on this
it
one.
was.
It only had 2 floors, so there's nobody stomping above us, and we were actually on the corner, so it was really quick and easy getting in and out, and it was quiet, because most of the time you're staying in these hotels, you hear every door slam and everything. This one's actually quiet because of the location, so you can always try to ask for certain ones, and if you know ahead of time, I'm like, I want to be on the second floor over here, and you can guarantee it's going to be way quieter stay than being on someone on top of you.
Yeah, and like Tony said, like I was personally very surprised at how quiet it was. Those pirate themed rooms have now been all refurbished to be the Little Mermaid rooms. It's like a lighter airy feel. To me, it feels like a more moderate priced Polynesian Village resort because it's very light and airy. There's like one queen size bed that is in the room and the other bed folds out. I talked to a cast member recently when I was requesting rooms for a client, and the cast member said that you cannot request a Little Mermaid room. There's not like a room type for that. And not all of the rooms have been refurbished. But if you go with a standard view room or a standard view fifth sleeper room, your odds of getting the Little Mermaid room are better than not.
Yeah, always ask. All they can say is no.
Yeah.
And like I said, this one, unlike a couple of these other ones, or maybe just Coronado, there's so much around the Caribbean Beach Resort that you can go to.
Right.
Which is right there on the Skyliner. So
yeah.
Popping art right there. You can walk to...
you can also walk to Riviera.
Right there, and then go eat breakfast or explore that resort. You don't got to go very far.
Yeah, Caribbean Beach is one of the bigger resorts on property. When we stayed there, we were in the Trinidad section is where the pirate themed rooms were. So we were right across a walking bridge from the Skyliner, which is great. The Skyliner takes you to Epcot and Hollywood Studios, obviously. But we were at the opposite end of the resort from Riviera, so it would have been a longer walk to go over to Riviera. Not a big deal. Again, you can take the Skyliner. But it was also a little bit of a longer walk to the lobby. That wasn't a deal breaker for us. But I could see if you were staying here with like young kids and you were going to be at the food court or something a lot, you may want to like request a room that's closer to the lobby.
Yeah, we didn't really get first-hand experiencing on this one last time because we were in and out. We didn't really get to experience
we did a
the pool
split
or anything.
stay.
We did a split stay, but yeah, it's similar to Coronado and how it has a really big layout though as well. So definitely, if you're going to stay here, and based on where you're going to be using, what you're going to be doing, I would definitely recommend requesting where you want to stay because it's pretty spread out.
Yeah, there's 4 bus stops at Caribbean Beach Resort. And like we said, you can take the Skyliner over at Epcot and Hollywood Studios, but to Magic Kingdom and Animal Kingdom, as well as Disney Springs, you may need to take the bus. So we ended up just Ubering to Disney Springs that day that we went, just because we didn't want to wait for the buses. One of the big parks here is the Fuentes del Moro pool, which is a pirate-themed pool that's like right outside of the lobby. There is a table service dining location here called Sebastian's Bistro. I've talked about that before on the podcast. That's a place that we want to eat at. It's kind of like an Ohana, but less expensive. Again, this resort kind of gives like Poly Light vibes, quote unquote, in that it's a family-style meal. It's a Caribbean-style, family-style meal. They also have a pool bar called Banana Cabana. And then there's a quick service location, which is Centertown Market, their food court, and then Spyglass Grill.
Yeah, for me, this resort is fun because there's always something going on. You get the feel of the Skyliner. Unlike kind of the Coronado, it's kind of more kind of quieter vibe. But this one, you always feel like there's something going on.
Right.
It's kind of a funner place to be. There's, like I say, you got a huge... Oh, they all have huge running walking paths that kind of go throughout the resort, typically around a mile or so. But
yeah, and this one has a really cool playground area that's kind of like on its own little island.
Didn't experience that one last time.
No, we didn't. But that is a big perk to it too. You can also see the fireworks from this resort from Epcot. So that's kind of one of the big things too that people love. You can go out. There's a lot of beach areas there that you can go to, and you can just like sit out along the beach and like watch the fireworks get shot off.
According to Disney, they have colonial forts and lively markets here.
Huh?
Pristine beaches that you can't swim in the water though. Splashy florals and swaying hammocks, sure to awaken the imagination. Disney-esque vocabulary.
Yeah, this is just, it's such a fun resort to stay at. When we stayed there in 2022, I had heard such mixed things about it. And I'll be honest, I didn't go into it with like very high expectations. And then we got there. That was the day that we talked about. We went, it was kind of like a marathon travel day. We flew out at like 5 a.m., got to Disney World, or got to Orlando, went straight to our resort, and then went over to Disney Springs. But I think we were instantly like, this resort is better than what people say it is.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't have. I guess we kind of had low expectations. I guess.
Right, we did.
Not thinking it was gonna be a bad resort, but like, okay, we can kind of, we'll make it work. If it, it's kind of like,
Well, and we were also staying in the
something.
pirate room, so we were like, like 2 grown adults staying in the pirate room for their anniversary. We're like,
no, we're in the magic.
Yeah.
But no, we definitely want to go back here and explore because we didn't get to do anything last time we were here. We basically used it for the Skyliner, and that was it.
Yeah, my original intention for our February trip was for us to stay at Caribbean Beach. Because it's on the Skyliner for the girls, since they'll be in strollers, we'll just be able to wheel it like directly onto the Skyliner. We ended up booking at Boardwalk instead. It's closer to Epcot, but this is another great option to me if you're looking for ease of transportation with like kids and strollers and things like that. Especially if you have a tandem stroller, you just get to roll it right onto the Skyliner. Another big perk of this resort is actually the hub of the Skyliner. So what that means is there's a big Skyliner station outside, and when you go to get on that Skyliner, you're either going to go to get directly on the Skyliner to go to Hollywood Studios or directly on the Skyliner to go to Epcot. You're not going to have to change lines like you would if you were staying at Pop Centers or Art of Animation or Riviera. You have to go back to Caribbean Beach to get to different locations.
Yeah, I think we already talked about it, but just looking at this, you basically get a 2-for-1 other than staying at the Riviera. You're looking at it wraps around basically, so you can basically walk right to it. We've eaten breakfast there before. You can do all the outside kind of activities. You can't obviously like jump in the pool or something, but yeah, you get to check out another resort that's right next door you can walk to.
And it's a beautiful like walking path too. Like, do you remember when we stayed there and you were trying to run that morning and I was like not having it. You wanted to run on like the jogging trail and Tony was like, come run with me. And I was like, no, like I was in a terrible mood.
We always try to beat those people. We're getting our nice little morning exercise.
We do typically.
Our little coffee latte.
Yeah, we do typically.
Little croissant in the morning. And then eat garbage all day.
One of the other things about this resort too at the Skyliner station that Tony particularly loves is that there is a Joffrey's coffee kiosk.
Everybody loves that.
At the Skyliner station. So you can get a donut. I don't know if you can get other pastries or if it's
You're
just
going
donuts.
there, you get the coffee and you get the big donut with the sprinkles.
And then you can get hop right on the Skyliner, eat your donut as you're like sailing over to or soaring over to Epcot and Hollywood Studios.
Overall, this is a pretty solid place to stay.
Yeah.
Definitely with kids. If you're looking for some big romantic thing, this is probably not, you're probably gonna be Coronado-ish.
But they do
Overall,
have
this is
king
place.
rooms here. I could see making it more romantic, but I also see what you mean. Do you see any drawbacks to this resort?
No.
My only drawback would be that some of the rooms haven't been refurbished, but that's not necessarily a drawback to me either. Like, I feel like the rooms here, this is going to be a hot take, but like when we stayed at Beach Club, I felt like the rooms here were just as updated as they were at Caribbean Beach.
Yeah, I mean, it just takes them a while to catch up there. There's a couple of rooms in Disney World.
Disney's like going for this like whole like vinyl flooring, like space underneath the bed to store your luggage, which I appreciate all of those things, but they just haven't gotten it out to all the resorts yet.
Yeah, we don't need carpet in Disney World.
No.
Sounds nasty.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
So moving on.
Moving
Final
on.
thoughts? We're done with
We're done with Caribbean Beach. The next one is Coronado Springs.
1 out of 10? Probably
12.
11 for us.
Yeah, we are big.
Without kids.
We're big Coronado Springs fans. We stayed here in 2021. We were actually supposed to stay at Caribbean Beach that trip. And then a discount came out and I wasn't able to apply the discount at Caribbean Beach, so we got moved to Coronado Springs. And we moved to Coronado Springs and I was kind of worried. I was like, I don't know if we're going to like it because I had heard Coronado Springs had some of the most subtle Disney theming on property.
It's got the worst transportation ever.
Yeah, and
so big.
It's themed to be Coronado Springs is themed to celebrate like Southwestern and like Southwestern cultures. And so I was like, I don't know if we're going to like this. We're from the South, like we're from Texas, so we kind of get a lot of that. But we absolutely loved this resort. This resort is located in the Animal Kingdom area, but with that said, it's actually the most centrally located resort on Disney property. The rooms start at $242 a night here. They sleep up to 4 guests, so you can't have 5 in these rooms. It's only 4. They have outlying buildings, which are the ranches, casitas, and cabanas, or you can stay at the Grand Destino Tower. And then they have bus transportation to all parks in Disney Springs. And Grand Destino Tower actually was just recently opened in 2019, so July of 2019.
Yeah, the only thing here is it's big, but it's the same as Caribbean Beach pretty much. I mean, request where you want to stay.
Right.
We haven't stayed anywhere besides the tower, and that was amazing for us.
Yeah.
You feel like some people feel, oh, it's kind of like being in a Vegas thing. Well, we don't even know what that's really like. We can see what you're talking about, but it's just like a cool vibe because you feel like you're high class.
Yeah, a lot of people consider this to be a deluxe resort at a moderate price tag, especially if you stay in the tower. We were booked in a standard room when we stayed there in 2021. Back then, of course, there were like not many people staying at the resort because of like the 2020 closures. And we just requested at the front desk. That's one of our pro tips, is always ask at the front desk, like, hey, can we be placed near XYZ? And they actually upgraded us to like a tower king room. So the tower is amazing, but I think staying in the outlying buildings is great too. You can also book one of the preferred rooms, which is closest to the tower, because the tower has most of the amenities. One of the bigger perks here too is there's 10 different like dining locations and lounges on this property. So you've got Maya Grill, Toledo, which is a tapas, steak, and seafood restaurant at the top of Grand Casino Tower, and Rick's Sports Bar, which are all table service. And then you have El Mercado de Coronado, which is a food court, Cafe Rick's, which is kind of like a grab-and-go pastry place, and then they also have ice creams and stuff. And then Barcelona Lounge, which is the coffee place, and they have drinks in the evening, and then they have like quick service, like just grab and go. So those are all their quick service locations. You have Laguna Bar, Dahlia Lounge, and Three Bridges Bar and Grill, which are technically their lounges. But Three Bridges Bar and Grill is actually like a full-service restaurant. You just don't have to have a dining reservation to go there. And then their pool bar is Siesta's Cantina.
Yeah, so we were there. We tried probably half of these because half weren't open.
Right.
Rick's Sports Bar.
We ate there
10 out of 10.
twice.
This place is really good if you want to watch games. It's got a lot of TVs. Their brunch is good. Their food's good all around. You know, it's not going to be, you know, your sit down looking at 5-star cuisine, but just good food.
Right.
My Grill, we didn't get to try that one out.
No, that one was closed, and so was Toledo. Toledo I would like to try because it's located at the top of the tower, and you can see the fireworks from Magic Kingdom and Epcot from there. Like, they're in the distance, but you can still see them. El Mercado de Coronado, we went through there, I think we were last night, and just grabbed food. It's a food court. It's a good sized food court, but at the end of the day, it's a food court nonetheless. Cafe Rick's was closed. Barcelona Lounge, we got coffee from every morning, and that was really good.
Up top, what's the lounge up top? Laguna Bar?
No, Dahlia Lounge.
Dahlia Lounge is up top. Yeah, that one's pretty cool. Overall, I think for the tower, more adult style.
Yeah, I agree.
If you have kids here, I would say probably not in the tower, probably the other locations.
I agree. When we stayed in the tower, there was a family that was like 2 doors down from us. Do you remember that? And they had small kids. And it didn't feel like it fit because you're in this...
Feels like an adults only in the tower.
Right. And it, I'll be honest, like, so Caribbean Beach is very insulated, I feel like. Coronado Springs, I feel like in the tower is not quite as much so. So when you have kids in the tower, it's just a little bit louder. So we probably wouldn't go back and stay with our kids there. We'd probably stay in the outlying buildings.
Even though we'd want to.
Yeah.
It just has everything there, though, so it makes it so much convenient. I think it's way nicer.
But I think what you can do is you can get a preferred room, and you're going to be placed in, like, the casitas or the cabanas areas, which are the sections, like, bordering the tower. And then you can just go into the tower for everything anyway.
Yeah, and then outside they have the biggest pool, or one of the biggest
The biggest hot tub. And one of the biggest pools.
So you get a little hike to get to the pool, but then across right in the middle of the pond, you got Three Bridges Bar and Grill, which is... You want to eat there if you're not even staying at Coronado.
Yeah, no.
It's just got a crazy like a little environment. You can do like the Sangria University, and they just have some cool little stuff. A little more unique, but it's really good. Yeah, and then one of the perks of staying here too is Siesta's Cantina, which is the pool bar. We ate lunch there one day, and it was actually really solid. Like, most of the time when you go to a pool bar for, like, lunch, you're going to get, like... You got a burger. Yeah, you get a burger. That's it. When you go to Siesta's Cantina, they have actually the same margaritas that they serve in Epcot, like the Mexican flag margaritas. But I think Tony got, like, fish tacos or something like that. Some kind of wrap or something unique that's like I said, all these resorts and locations have different stuff you're not going to find at other places, you know. Right. You'll probably get a burger everywhere, but they're going to have a couple things you can't really just, you know, a lettuce wrap or some kind of seafood entree or something you're not going to find somewhere else. So, yeah, it was good. Yeah, and then they also, this is one of the other big perks about staying here is obviously you're on vacation. This isn't a must-do, but this is the only moderate resort that has a fitness center. It actually has 2. It has one in the tower, and then it has one in the Casitas section, I believe. Yeah, well, you're pumping out every morning. And it's downstairs. In the tower, yeah. Pretty much kind of in the lobby. It's downstairs. You can still see the lobby from in the entrance. And then there's also a little coffee in the morning they set up like little coffee bars, whatever. That's at the bar. So then it didn't turn into a bar while we were there.
That's Barcelona Lounge. Yeah, it didn't know. At that time, I don't think they were doing the bar in the evening down there. I think it was just Dahlia Lounge.
So you can get all your coffee, latte, ice cream, hold the whip, all that in the morning. And then at night, nighttime, drinks. They also have... Can you bring your fishing pole there?
So you can fish there. You can't bring your own fishing pole. You can rent...
Unless you can put it in your bag real small.
When we went to Coronado, it was really funny because... So the NBA bubble was at Disney in 2020. And when we went, it was like the minor league version of the NBA, and they were staying at Coronado because I believe it was the Spurs or the Lakers that had stayed in the tower at Coronado.
I remember walking over 3 bridges and some guys were fishing around there in the corner. They
had
a section blocked off where they were staying at.
Yeah, so they blocked off a section of, I want to say they were staying in like the cabana in the casitas area, and they blocked off that section, and those guys were fishing. At the time, they had like kind of like the recreation area closed where you could go fishing, but you can rent a fishing pole and like fish off the bridge.
Overall, yeah, this place is, we like it. We like it a lot, and especially for the price you're getting for what it, compared to, everyone compares it to being a deluxe for a moderate price. The only drawback, obviously, just being, it's just the buses. But another tip, like we do, if you need to get somewhere quick, just Uber every once in a while.
Well, and if you have kids, you can always do a minivan because minivans have car seats in them. So yeah, like Tony said, just Uber. The thing about it is because it's so centrally located, it's not going to take as long of a time to get to any of the parks because it's in the middle of all of them. It is a bigger resort. It's just like all of the moderate resorts are kind of like bigger and spread out with the exception of French Quarter. And so it has like this one has multiple bus stops as well, but that was never an issue for us.
Yeah, that's what I say. Definitely get familiar with the bus stops, where they're stopping, in the order they stop. Sometimes they don't even stop at every one if they don't see anybody there, depending on the driver.
Right.
But yeah, definitely get familiar with that and the times, or else you will kind of waste a lot of time sitting around not knowing in and with when and where that buses are going to be there.
Yeah, and you can always look in like in your Disney World app, you can go to your resort hotel and you can look at the bus schedule there, and it'll give you a time of like when the next bus is coming around. So the nice thing is there's always a close bus stop to you, but it may just like take a little bit longer to get over there, depending on the bus driver and depending on the day.
Overall, that's my only knock.
Yeah.
But that's just most resorts anyway.
We stayed at Coronado for like, I think we were supposed to stay there for 8 nights. Anyway, we ended up extending out our trip another day because we just didn't want to go home. We loved Coronado so much.
Moving on
To
the ones we have not stayed at.
Yeah. So heading over to the Disney Springs area are the Port Orleans resorts. There's Port Orleans Riverside, Port Orleans French Quarter, like I said, and they're sister properties. Port Orleans French Quarter starts at $265 a night. They actually both start at $265 a night, but Port Orleans French Quarter sleeps up to 4, and this is the smallest moderate resort on Disney property. So they have a quick service location called Sasagula Floatworks and Food Factory, and then Scat Cats Club, which is a cafe, but they also have a lounge, which is Scat Cats Club, and Mardi Gras.
So overall, they're basically about the same price starting out.
Yeah.
Being Coronado, you can actually get just a hair cheaper.
Right. And it's closer to the parks.
But here you get the beignets.
You do get the beignets. It also has boat transportation that'll take you to Disney Springs, which a lot of people love. You're going to use buses to take you to all of the other parks, so it might be a little bit further than than Coronado with bus time. But again, if you're going to be at Disney Springs a lot, you're planning on using like their dining and stuff like that, then this could be a good resort to stay at.
This is definitely one of our bucket lists.
Yes.
And again, like, I don't know if everyone's like that or just us. Transportation is huge.
You know it is.
I don't know if everyone's like that, but I personally, and because we like being at Disney Springs.
Well, I think if you are relying on Disney transportation, then it's a big
We're
thing.
never relying on it. We definitely take advantage of it. We appreciate being on it.
Yes. I just mean
we'll
like
Uber if we need to.
Like we don't have our own car. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, we can
do.
Uber.
It's just not there.
Well, you know what I mean. So the biggest perks of this resort is boat transportation. Like I said, it's a smaller resort, so there's not as much walking. Scat Cats Club is known for Yeehaw Bob, who performs several times a week.
Yeah, I want to see him.
I do too. Like, we've always wanted to get over there. We've always wanted to try the beignets.
If you don't know, go look him up.
And then their pool is the Doubloon Lagoon pool. But that pool is actually, if you're going to stay there in 2024, just know the pool is going to be closed from January to April.
So, this is a theming that I think originally I want to say there too, because we don't really have that kind of theming in our daily.
What? French Quarter thing?
Yeah, in our daily life.
Yeah.
Even though we still, like, this is off, but like wilderness life, outdoors,
Right.
that kind of, or Coronado.
Right.
South Texas vibe-ish.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think it's probably maybe one of our top 3. We want to say it next.
I've always kind of wanted to stay here because my grandpa's from Louisiana, and so growing up, like, we've always eaten a bunch of Cajun food and stuff like that. I'm apprehensive of eating Cajun food at Disney, but I've heard really good things about it. So I've always wanted to stay here for that. I think that it's cool too. Like, I like that it's a smaller resort because some of the moderate resorts are bigger. This one only has one bus stop, but it's also in walking distance of Port Orleans Riverside. So you get to use the amenities of both since they're sister properties.
And because Haunted Mansion just came up recently, so it reminds me of Haunted Mansion.
Yeah.
And we can go there and we can talk about all the Cajun food and shout out Tracy, and then she can talk about how it's not authentic.
Yeah.
But beignets. It's all about the beignets. The seasonal beignets too. I saw they had the cookies and cream.
The cookies and cream one for Halloween, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And I think, like, this resort just seems so fun. We golfed at Lake Buena Vista Golf Course last trip, and that golf course, one of the holes is directly across from Port Orleans French Quarter. So it was like watching everybody in the pool and everything like that. We were golfing. It looked really fun.
Yeah, I think this is like when you gotta think about, like, for us, we go straight into Disney Springs when we get there our first day when we fly into Miami or Orlando. So, and typically we like to do a split stay.
Right.
So this is one we would stay there and then go from there maybe, or.
But would we do split stays now with the girls?
We probably wouldn't even do one actually from there.
No.
But prioritize like where you're staying and where you're gonna be doing, what parks you're gonna be at, what if you're gonna be, like, say you're gonna be at Disney Springs a lot. It's a no-brainer.
I honestly thought about us staying here in February when we go. Again, my only reason for holding it back is, like, okay, the girls are gonna be really small at first. It probably will be easier to be close to the parks, but on subsequent trips, like later this year or something like that, I think that this would be a great resort to kind of stay at once we kind of get our groove with putting the stroller on the buses and stuff like that. Like, once you kind of get that down. And again, like we said, you can always get an Uber or a Lyft to take you over to the parks to kind of get you there quicker.
Yeah, I think this one is definitely overall, like, there's no just kind of kid vibe. There's no just kind of, I think it's for everybody. They all are.
Right.
But this one has a feel where, you know, it's not like you're not going to be sitting in a clamshell in your bed type of thing.
Which happens to us at Art of Animation.
Kids awesome here. People, no kids, I guess, you know, whatever.
Yeah, and so
Adults.
going right next door to the, like, switching gears to Port Orleans Riverside, which is a sister property. A lot of people say Port Orleans Riverside is one of the most romantic hotels on Disney property. Again, we've never stayed there. It's the exact same price as Port Orleans French Quarter, but you can sleep up to 5 in these rooms. So they have, like, 2 queen beds with a child-size pull-out twin bed. Some of the rooms here are going to be themed to, like, royal guest rooms. Other ones are themed to just, like, the down-home hospitality of the Louisiana Bayou. But the royal guest rooms, I actually had thought, I was like, that would be so fun to stay with the girls in. It's two queen beds, and it's tons of princess details. Like, I'm talking, like, you've got a fireworks show that you just flip the light switch on, and there's fireworks that go off above your bed. So this resort has a table service dining location, which is called Boatwright's Dining Hall. The quick service is Riverside Mill Food Court. The lounges are River Roost and technically Muddy Rivers, which is also actually their pool bar. And then their pool here is called Old Man Island Pool. They also have horse-drawn carriage rides here. You can rent Surrey bikes or do just, like, regular bike rentals. And then again, the perk too is that it's a sister property to Port Orleans French Quarter, so you kind of get 2 resorts in one.
Yeah, I feel like this one has way more. As we've seen the carriage rides, that was like more, and not adventurous, but like there's more to kind of look
Romantic.
at it. Like Caribbean Beach, it's kind of cool. You have the skyline looking over, but it's kind of your typical.
Right.
You're not seeing anything else other than that resort.
Right.
This one I feel like there's more going on around you. You
Yeah.
got the boats cruising, and I mean, I feel like there's more to look at this resort.
And this is going to be a bigger size resort too. So this resort has multiple bus stops like Caribbean Beach and Coronado Springs. But again, you could always walk over to Port Orleans French Quarter if you just need to like hop on the bus because that's just one bus stop over there. So you kind of get the best of both worlds.
Yeah, all these are obviously similar price.
Uh-huh.
But I just keep going back to the transportation thing.
Right.
It's not a deal breaker or something drastic, but it's just obviously location and what you're getting from like transportation wise. Do you want the skyline? Do you care about it? Do you want to be next to Disney Springs? Do you care about that? Do you want to
Yeah, and what's interesting to me is that of all of these resorts, Caribbean Beach is the least expensive and it has the best transportation. It has Skyliner access over to Epcot and Hollywood Studios.
Yeah, some people don't even like the Skyliner.
Well, that's true. But I have had a very rare occurrence of people saying they don't like the Skyliner.
I'd say more boats in the Skyliner.
What?
That people don't like.
Yeah, that's true.
You don't hear a lot of people say, I love the boat rides. I want to go on the boat ride.
Here's my thing. I'm not hating on the boats over at Port Orleans, but...
You can't take that to a park, though, too. So
no.
It's just Disney Springs. That's it.
You're right. And when we took the boat from
Still gotta take the bus.
From Saratoga, like, I love being in the Disney bubble. I love the Disney music. I love everything about it. I do not want to know that the outside world exists when I am on Disney property. And when we got on the boat at Saratoga, it felt like there was a little bit of a disconnect with that. Do you remember that? I don't know if that was just the first night or if that was the whole time, but they were like playing Miley Cyrus on the boat. And I was like, I'm not going to a party.
I mean, you go to Disney Springs, and if you have that track of like the people that can just cruise around and everything, where some people may not even be staying there.
That's true, yeah.
It's just like an open mall, basically. So,
right.
I mean, for all you know, they're just cruising. They're not even staying on Disney property anywhere.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We just got done playing golf too. I think maybe some of those guys just went to the golf course, maybe a little loose.
That's true too. Yeah.
Loosey-goosey.
That's true. I think that so here's my pick. If you are a family and you're looking to stay at one of the Port Orleans resorts, I would probably stay at Port Orleans Riverside just because it has a little bit more amenities than Port Orleans French Quarter. You can always walk over to Port Orleans French Quarter and go to the Scott Cats Lounge and all of that fun stuff so you can take in more of that adult-centric atmosphere. If you are a adult-only vacation or a couples trip, you can take if you have an adult-only vacation or a couples trip, then I say to go to Port Orleans French Quarter.
Yeah, it's just so hard to pass up Caribbean Beach just because of the Skyline. You can go ride to 2 parks.
Okay, so if you had to choose for a young family like ours, which one would you choose out of all 4?
Yeah, Caribbean Beach.
If you had to choose for an adults-only vacation, which one would you choose?
Coronado.
If you had to choose for a couples trip, which one would you choose?
Coronado. No, it's Coronado. Or it'd be Port Orleans French Quarter.
I say a young family, I would do Caribbean Beach, or I might consider Port Orleans Riverside if you're planning on like taking like minivans sometimes and stuff like that.
Couples trip is anywhere.
Yeah.
It's a matter of, do you want to really have the full experience, have fun, and be kids, and say Caribbean Beach, and not have to have something kind of more upscale and fancy-ish. Kind of, you're still in the bubble, but it's so subtle, like at Coronado. You're not going to see characters really.
Right.
The real hidden Mickey type of thing.
Yeah.
Beach, it's kind of like pops in your face a little bit. So
right.
Couples can be anywhere.
No, I totally agree.
What kind of trip you're looking to have.
Yeah, I agree. And if you're in a larger party, I would say I would do Caribbean Beach because it gives you easier Skyliner access. It's a big resort, so it can accommodate more people, and you have great like transport, like you have great like dining and different things like that.
Overall, like everything, it's your priorities, your wants, your needs. We just want to give you some oversight, tips, pointers,
guidance,
what we know, what we've seen, what we don't know, what we think they're like, and lots of words. No more adjective things.
Yeah.
Moving on. You guys, let us know where you stayed. Let us know what you think. If you haven't, if you have, things we've missed, things you want to know. Like, subscribe, share, comment, rate.
Leave us a review.
If you don't have anything good to say, keep moving.
And give us a follow on the Double Dose of Disney fam on both Instagram and TikTok. Transparently, we're having our twin daughters tomorrow, and this podcast will come out not this week, but the following week. So we will be back with there won't be a gap in episodes, but we will be sharing all about our new life with our twinzos very soon.
Yeah, and there's something else you want us to cover, let us know.
Yeah.
Future podcast ideas, questions, whatever you got, let us know.
Yep. So we will see you right back here next week.
See ya.